Hello, Seiiti Arata. Have you ever seen any influencers saying that they read 2 books a week or 8 books a month or even 1 book a day? If you ever heard something like this and you felt the need to read 1 book a week, stop and think for a second. Quantity doesn't mean quality. The simple fact of reading 1 book every week is pointless if they're not good books or if you're reading them with low quality. First, check the quality of the books. Just as an extreme case, who do you think would learn more? Someone who would read 4 books full of wrong concepts, or someone who would read a classic like War and Peace? Why is someone who reads 8 medium-sized books of 100 pages each any better than someone who reads an excellent 800-page book? Secondly, it is not the quantity of the books that matters, but what you're going to do with the things that you have read. Are you applying that knowledge in your real life? Do you really understand the books that you read? Or are you just piling up the numbers of books that you read so you can brag about it on social media? In our chat today, I'd like to show you how to read more and better without getting caught in this "I have to read 2 books every week" idea. You will see that when you free yourself from this type of goal, your reading skills will improve. Don't set goals about the amount of books to read every week. Instead, set your goal of having more time to read. Saying that you're going to read 1 book a week is pointless. Get over this idea. There are 50-page books and 5,000-page books. There are easy-to-read books and also difficult books. There are times in which you feel more relaxed and your reading will flow, and there are also some other times in which you're going to feel more stressed and you cannot make much progress. This is why creating goals, such as a certain number of books to read, does not work in the long run. It is much better to create the habit of reading than to set a specific quantity of books to read. Also, this type of a 1 book a week goal is a new trend that got popular because of the internet. Just think of some historical scholar and imagine, did this book commit to reading 1 book a week? No, he did not. What did these scholars do? They simply created the habit of reading. Readers who are always reading during all their lives, they simply created a time block in their routines to dedicate themselves to reading. Now, if you want to read more and better, this is the secret. Create blocks of time during which you will focus exclusively on reading and fit these time blocks inside of your routine, using triggers to begin and also to finish reading. Fit your time blocks inside a pre-existing routine. Treat reading as if it were one of your daily tasks. Imagine someone who is able to save 30 minutes of their morning, of their lunchtime, or their night time to read. If that person can read about 20 pages during those 30 minutes at lunchtime or at the end of a work week, they would have read around 100 pages during the work days. And if this same person can also fit another 30-minute block before going to bed, they would read 200 pages per week from Monday to Friday. Use your reading time blocks as much as you can by creating triggers, routines, and rewards. A habit is made of 3 stages: trigger, routine, and reward. Your trigger should be something that already exists in your routine and that will mark the time in which you start reading. If you have decided to read 30 minutes in the morning, your trigger could be brushing your teeth. As soon as you finish brushing your teeth, you grab your book, go to your reading place, set a 30-minute timer, and then you start reading. Reading is the second stage of the habit. It is the routine. When the trigger rings after those 30 minutes, you close your book and you continue with your daily routine. You can establish a reward, such as having a cup of coffee when you finish reading, or just use the feeling that you get after reading a good book as its own reward. There are even some details that can help you to create the habit of reading. For example, you can always read in the same spot. If you like to read with instrumental background music, you can always listen to the same music genre. If you like to measure your progress, you can always use the same app to count the amount of pages that you have read. These details help you to create your routine and transform your reading block of time into an automatic habit like brushing your teeth or checking social media. Become indestructible during your reading block of time. The quality of what you read is more important than its quantity. Reading one book a week is pointless if you're not really learning what you read. That is why the amount of pages that you read every week is less important than the quality of your reading. During those blocks of time dedicated to reading, you should remove every distraction. Place your phone far from you, upside down, or on airplane mode. Turn the TV off. Be in an isolated space if possible, and if you can't, just use some earphones with some instrumental music or some noise cancellation. And when you're reading, try to focus on reading. If your mind begins to wander, gently pull your focus back to reading. A good tip is to always have some paper and pen close by. And in this way, if you remember that you have to buy some milk while you're reading, or to pay some bill, or to call a friend, you can simply write it down in that paper and then continue reading. Now you might be asking, like, why pen and paper? Wouldn't it be easier to use my phone? Yes, it will be easier. However, you must avoid using your phone to write down your notes, and the reason is that when you grab your phone to write that idea down, you might see some notification, an unread message, a new email, and then your reading block of time is going to be at risk. This is also why your block of time should not be too long. It is difficult to stay focused for long periods of time. Try it with 20 to 30-minute blocks. Even if you can read for 1 hour, try to do this in 2 separate blocks of time, about 25 minutes each, with a 10-minute interval between them. During this break, you can get up, you can get some water, you can check your phone, and then you go back to your reading with full focus. If you're not being able to focus on the book, the issue might be the book itself. You may have chosen a low-quality book, or perhaps it is a book written in a style that you're not used to, or might be a book that is too complex for your current level. If this happens to you, the best thing to do may simply be to give up the book, leave it, or for another time. Try another author, maybe another topic, another point of view. Reading should be something enjoyable. You do not have to force yourself to read something that is not really benefiting you. If you are the type of person who keeps saying how much they would love to read more books, well, today you have learned to not think about quantity alone. Having to read one book a week is just stupid. There is something much better, the quality of what you read, and also creating habits. And simplicity is the best way to get there. Check your routine. Find one spot during your day in which you can fit a 20 or 30-minute block of time, and during that day, every day, use that block of time, set a timer, remove distractions, and begin to read. And when the timer rings, close the book and carry on with your day, and that's all. This simple habit will make you read more and better without any difficulty. Remember that reading is not a competition. You don't have to prove that you read more books a week than anyone else. You should get in touch with new ideas and open your mind and increase your knowledge. And to achieve all of this, all you need is a little time every day to focus on reading. And if you want to increase the quality of your reading and understanding the different types of reading that you can practice, you can check our How to Read Better course from Arata Academy by accessing arata.se/how to read better.